and freeze, as is the tradition in this part of the world at this time of the week. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good happy beer time to you all, wherever you are, and whatever you're doing. That's what I'm doing at the moment, drinking beer. I feel like I need a beer today, I'll be honest with you. I've had a bit of a rough week. I get these recurring bouts of sciatica or a trapped nerve or something. I've been having them on and off since the 1990s, and right in the middle of one at the moment. So I'm currently hobbling around with the aid of one of these things, which is, not the coolest thing in the world, especially when the dog tries to kind of steal it, but which he did today. But there you go. Such is life, but it's Friday and we're having a beer, and then there's a curry, and all will be right in the world. How is everyone? Hope you've all had a pretty good week. Let's have a look. Jimmy James is saying, my buddy got CBD gummies and it helped with sciatica a lot. Yes, I've heard that recommendation. That basically the stuff that doesn't get you, that has the stuff that's made from wacky backy that's had the wacky stuff taken out of it. I might give that a go. Anyway, let's see who was first in. Teacher's pet this week is Steve Hale saying hello from Cumbria. Then we got Mark Kerno, Timbo, David James, and Rent to Kill. There's Dave Fiendish, and Timbo saying forgot to send more pics of my guitars. It's all right, there's a few of yours lined up for later, mate. Then we've got PFY Guitars, Torquemada 64. Still working with my desk. Ho hum, wages are worth it. Well, that's all that matters, mate, isn't it? Then we got Rubbish Guitar Bloke, Terry Day, Steve B, Peter Nicholson, Theme Tunes is in, so is Johnny Random and Steve Entwistle. And then we got Sean House, we got Ben Allmark, we got Malcolm Thompson, Savvy is in, so is Dr. Gomez, John McDean Michaels, Dave Lewis, Nathan is in, so is Stephen Hedger, and John Ross saying rest in peace Dwayne Eddy. Yes, I saw that the other day, and we lost Richard Tandy from Electric Light Orchestra this week. Indeed. I suppose it is just the inevitable march of time, I suppose. But Dwayne was a big influence on me. That twangy guitar kind of tone, yeah, might have to be a little bit of a tip of the hat to him in an upcoming video. I'm going to have a think about that. Anyway, we've got Anton, we've got Ian Clark, we've got Silent Hybrid, we've got Grandpa Joe asking a question. Being here is the best way to start the weekend. Well, thank you very much, mate. My question today is, what is the name of the oldest pub in England or the entire UK? Oh, I know a chap who might know that. He goes by the name of Google. And I think that's probably the only way you'd find that out. Then we've got Vincent Brennan, Calby and the Rocco Cat. Peter Collins is in. So is Frank Bolam. And then we got Michael Purcell, 60s man. Dave Stevens, Dave Snack Stevens, saying hello from a cloudy Dorset. And then we've got Carl Tom, Pablo Hank. Then who else we got? Dave Lewis, yes, rest in peace, Richard Tandy, keyboard player from ELO. There's Jimmy James, and we've got David Evans. Colin Falcon is in, and who else we got? We got David Collins, Peter Goddard, Triple Distilled, and the Essex Cat is there. David Cairns is in, so is Mr. Chris 5254. William Forrest is there as well, and Cal Texper. There's Peter S. and Andy Nisbet, and I think John Channing is there, and Ivor, and Bill Mumbo as well, and Ken McGurr. You're asking a question there, Ken. Quick tech question. 12-bar blues from the 5 to the 4 chord, bars 9 and 10. What do you play, arpeggios, pentatonic, or plain chords? Not sure what plain chords are. But yeah, all of the above, basically. Just stick with your kind of one-size-fits-all minor pentatonic, and then maybe throw in a couple of chord tones. That's how I usually do it. Works for me. There's Veronica Wright, Martin Bix, Les Roper is in. So is Maria Davies and Johnny D. There's Robert Forsyth, Dudley Squat. Chikishina is in, all the way from Sweden. And then how do I pronounce your name? My eyesight is terrible, but Metalerna 666, all the way from Hamburg. Sorry, mate, it's just I had a mental block there on how to pronounce your name. We've got Brad Dowell, we've got Thomas Mulvaney, Mississippi Blues, Graham Campbell, Chris Smith is in, and I'm Not Creative is there as well, and Jeff Benner, Steve Cassidy guitar. Don't forget, Steve's probably got an upload going out straight after this video, so go and check him out. I'll make sure I don't overrun so that I'm not treading on Steve's toes. And I think that is pretty much everyone. Just Rexamatic is in, and Jamal123. Anyone else? Any kind of anyone else coming through the door? Simon Rice, and I believe that's everyone. Apologies if I've missed you, but there'll probably be some latecomers. Excuse me, I need a drink after all of that. Dear me, that's good. And it's it's the first of many this evening. Anyway, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. I've actually got some notes written down here just for a change. I'm not entirely winging it. there's Jay Aoyong in as well, saying, I don't even know enough theory to understand that question. If you're playing in a blues in the key of A, the bit where it goes from the E chord down to the D chord and back to the A chord again, Ken was asking what you play over the top of that, basically. Anyway, yes, a couple of things I want to talk about tonight, but we'll kick off, as always, by letting you know what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday, as you probably know, if you're watching yesterday, when I kind of did give you my first impressions of that Harley Benton Les Paul single-cut style guitar. It's the full review of that, and a massive amount of thanks to everybody who's got in touch or left a comment saying that it was a Harley Benton / tribute. After I'd made that video that went out yesterday, I did a little bit of extra research, and I found out exactly the same thing. And it appears like it's a discontinued model. So, it's a nice guitar, like, I'll give it that. But it's just that the top is a little bit unconvincing when you see it in person. That's the only thing about it. But in terms of sound and playability, great little guitar. And you'll discover just how it sounds in a mix and all the usual weights and measures and everything in Sunday's video. Then on Monday, as is usual, a solo analysis. Now, this is a solo from a song that I've covered before, that I've done videos about before. I did. It's one of those songs that has a fantastic, epic outro guitar solo, and it also has a solo kind of earlier on in the song. And I've done the epic outro guitar solo a couple of times. Once years ago, and then I wasn't really happy with it, and I redid it for Patreon recently. I've never covered the first guitar solo in that song. If I just tell you, people in the UK of a certain vintage will know exactly which song I'm talking about. It's the guitar solo from the song that contains Terry Wogan's favourite guitar solo. I've done the long outro solo on that one before, but never the main solo in the middle. So that's what we're doing on Monday. Then on Tuesday is not Comfortably Numb, Peter Goddard. See if anyone else has had a guess yet. Michael Beliveau is saying, stretch your Maximus glute, John. I'm an expert in sciatica. I wouldn't even know where to find my Maximus glute, to be honest with you. I have got some exercises that, I was going to say last time, but back in about 2014, I had this, a bout of this. and I got referred for some physiotherapy, and the physiotherapist gave me some exercises that kind of help with this, and eventually got me sorted again. The only problem is that the exercises hurt like bilio, so something that that will just ease the the nastiness of it, which hopefully, I might be doing some stretching exercises about 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. Your buttock muscle, or your backside. Yes, well, it's curry tonight, so that'll be getting a good stretch in the morning, I should imagine. Right, where was I? Yes, Tuesday, top 5 video. It's my top 5 guitar retailers in the UK. Basically, we all buy stuff online nowadays, and it can be something of a roll of the dice when you order from certain companies. Are you going to get what you asked for? Is it going to be in stock when they say it's in stock, or isn't it? Is it going to be is it going to turn up in an acceptable condition? You might save 20 quid getting a guitar from this retailer rather than that one. But if it comes up and it's going to cost you an afternoon in setting the guitar up correctly, then is it really worth it? So that's basically what we're talking about on Tuesday, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff going past in the chat here. Johnny Love, what you're saying there. Just watch Andy Timmons on Mick and Dan from that pedal show in Cavan on Wednesday. Great show, and they all hung around for a good chinwag afterwards. Only 20 quid. That just sounds like a decent night, mate. Yeah, nice one. Where are we? Yeah, Ian Clark saying that list changes regularly. Well, yeah, this is the ones that basically the ones that I've had no issues with in recent times. So if there are any big name, big box retailers on this list that aren't on this list, well, you know that they're kind of on the naughty step with me at the moment. So that's Tuesday's video. Then on Wednesday, fast tempo soloing. If you've got a backing track or a song to play on where, it's kind of rattling along at, over, let's say over 150 beats per minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of speed, it can often be somewhat off-putting and, tricky to figure out how you're going to keep up. Well, I have a couple of strategies that may just help when kind of looking at that. And then on Thursday, it's a new guitar day on Thursday. We're going to be doing an unboxing video, and it is one of the guitars that I did in my video, was it last week? 5 guitars that are giving me serious gas. It's what I pulled the trigger on one of them, and if you want to find out which one it is, you'll have to wait until Thursday to see it. Let's have a look, see what I've missed in the chat, and then I'm going to pour another beer. Michael Purcell is saying, how about a solo at the Bebop Balula by John Lennon? Can put it on the list. I've done the Cliff Gallup solo from the Bebop Balula solo JL. I've done the original Cliff Gallup solo. Oh gosh, it's got to be a couple of years ago now. And that was fun. So I'll dig out the John Lennon rock and roll album. It's one of my favourite kind of albums of that. Did I do a video on that recently? Albums by people who used to be in a band and then released a solo album. Let's just pour another beer, because it's Friday. And Friday, get ready to type flake, everyone. This one's a bit lively already, as we can see. Yes, indeed. Here we go. We'll just let that sort itself out a little bit. Right. Before we get into looking at viewers' guitars, which we're going to be doing shortly, because I've written that down as well. I nearly forgot last week. Took somebody in the chat to remind me. Before we get into looking at viewers' guitars, topic I want to talk about. Has anyone... Oh, yes, ice cream treat. Flake, flake, flake. Yes, indeed. It's not one of my better ones, that, is it? Dear me, no. As you can probably tell, it's Carlsberg Export this week. Mainly because they've taken the deal off on the Heineken. It used to be 3 slabs for 23 quid in Morrison's. And now it's just down to 11 quid a slab. But they still have the same deal on the Carlsberg Export, so don't mind if I do. Macaroon, mate, you must have been reading my mind. Have you listened to the Mark Knopfler new album? To be honest, I found it boring. That is exactly what I was just going to raise there. There's been a fair bit of hype about this new Mark Knopfler album, One Deep River. And I saw a Chris Evans interview with Mark where it was all, it's fantastic. It's the best thing you've done in years. And lots of, fawning interviews with Mark, it has to be said. It was a little bit cringy. Certainly the Chris Evans interview that he did. And, and I thought, well, okay, we'll give the album a listen. And I've listened to it. I've listened to it a couple of times. I think it's always fair to give it a couple of listens. And I'm struggling to remember a single melody or song or tune off that album. It's got all of the ingredients that you want from a Mark Knopfler album. It's got his vocals. It's got, some of the lyrics, when you sit and read the lyrics, yeah, he's a wordsmith, and he knows how to tell a story in a song and paint a picture with the words. And it's got like his smoky kind of guitar playing and everything, just that signature Knopfler tone that's always identifiably him, whether he's playing, something with single coils or like a Les Paul or something. It's just all there. The only thing that's lacking are memorable tunes. And I have a theory about this. I remember interviews with Mark from the 80s, when he was in his full-on kind of sweatband kind of era, and he would always talk enthusiastically about the guitar and about the musical side of things. And he would always kind of be talking about which keys he liked, because when you're playing a song that has a particular kind of mood to it, that's better served by playing it in this key rather than that key. And he would be enthusing about the melodies and his guitar playing. Nowadays, you listen to an interview with Mark Knopfler, and it's like all he talks about are the lyrics and the poetic side of the lyrics. It's like he just sits down and probably writes the lyrics, and then just any old kind of tune that he can come up with. He's not bringing his A game on the music side of things. Lyrically, as good as ever, but the music and the guitar playing side of things, it's just not there anymore. And that's been, Dire Straits was essentially the Mark Knopfler band, really. It's even from the early days. But as soon as Dire Straits kind of split up, or he disbanded it, or whatever, it seemed to kind of lose that musicality. When it just literally became Mark Knopfler solo albums. Occasionally a great song had slipped through, like Way I Man, from the Ragpicker's Dream, or what's the other one? What It Is. I did the solo from that recently as well. Occasionally a little spark of the old magic is there, but by and large, I don't think there's been a good Mark Knopfler album since Love Over Gold. And Brothers in Arms was well, I wanted to like it. I tried liking it at the time, but you listen to it now, it sounds so dated. All those cheesy synthesizers plastered over everything. And that sort of comeback album that they did in, what was it, 91, On Every Street. Occasional good moments on that, but overall, I think it's just a bloated and a little bit weak of an album. The last good Mark Knopfler album, as I say, was Dire Straits' Love Over Gold. Alchemy, the live album, admittedly, which was the the kind of the live one, but there was no new material on that. Dave Lewis also agrees with me. I found the last few Mark Knopfler albums boring. Yep. Let's see what else has been going on in the chat while I've been ranting. Pablo Hank, it sounds like the creative well is running dry with Mark Knopfler. Has anyone listened to this album and really loved it, by the way? Michael Purcell is saying he was a journalist to begin with. Yeah, I think that shows, actually. I think he knows how to craft the words. Michael Purcell is saying, like the intro of the first song of the album. Okay, well, fair enough. Maria Davies, I saw that interview as well, John. It was a bit fawning, wasn't it? Let's have a look. George Wall is saying Cronenberg 1664 is no more. Well, it still exists, but they've messed with it, haven't they? What else have we got? Chris Smith, I can tell you it's hard to write anything too exciting when your day consists of tea and toast. Possibly. Steve Cassidy guitar. He still maintained his vocal range all this time. Yeah, you never bought a Mark Knopfler, a Dire Straits or Mark Knopfler album for the, for the soaring vocals, did you? Yeah, Maiden Man 74. Lots of people seem to agree with me. Uni and Ali, now you raised a good point there. I agree 100% that Dire Straits reached their peak with Love Over Gold. I think Pick Withers' departure was a factor as well. Yes, I mean, because it was Terry Williams after that, wasn't it? Ex-Rockpile drummer, I believe. But Pick Withers, yeah, he does have like a kind of a bit, or he did. Is he still around? I don't know. But, when you go back and listen to like the first album, certainly like the just the eponymous Dire Straits album, just some of the little drum fills he puts in on that are just, they're flashy, but not in a way that's overbearing or domineering. And the man, he steps up to the microphone, that little kind of hi-hat thing he does on that, that's you notice it when you've heard it enough times. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the guitar pictures that have been sent in either this week or since the last time I showed some guitar pictures, which was last week. But there's some of these that have been hanging around for a while because I've got a huge stockpile, and it's just a case of which ones I select at random each week to kind of throw up on screen. So let's see what we've got today. So let's share screen, and here we have Carl B's Harley Benton JA60. It's an offset, and it's yes, there it is. Nice if you like that sort of thing, I suppose. And then we've got some guitars from Chris Ottewell here. We've got a lovely Rickenbacker here, and a Brian May Red Special, and an Ibanez something. Basically an Ibanez take on a 335. I always forget, the guitar companies that do sort of alphanumeric designations, I always kind of find them hard to keep in my head. But lovely pair of three. You cover some sonic territory with those three, mate. Yeah, nice one. Then Chris Snowden with his Harley Benton SC something or other. Basically the Harley Benton take on an ESP, I believe. And then we've got Dave Lewis's Harley Benton Fusion T. Nice finish on that. That top, that veneer top on there looks a lot nicer than the one that was on my Harley Benton Fusion T. It just looked a little bit kitchen counter worktop, a little bit Formica, the one on mine, but that looks like properly nice. Well done, mate. You got a good one there. And also Dave Lewis's Joe Strummer Telecaster. Yeah, fair enough. If you like that kind of thing, relic guitars and all of that, I get why you want something like this if you're a big Clash fan. You know, but it's a bit of a Marmite thing, isn't it? You know, kind of artificially aged guitars. But if you're happy with it, mate, then that's all that matters. Then what's next? Okay, some more of Farjon's guitars. A Godin, is it Godin or Godin? Godin Freeway, Godin Session, and a Godin Radiator. Yeah, that one. I don't know why that one just looks. I'm not into Strats, but that one just for me. I don't know whether it's the colour scheme or what, but that just floats my boat greatly. That Godin Session. Let's see what's next, and some more of Farjon's guitars. The Line 6 Variax 500 and a Faith Naked Neptune acoustic. Yeah, those Line 6 Variax. I've done a review of one ages ago, and curious guitars because the sounds are there. They really are, especially on the electric sounds. You know, you can literally believe you're listening to a Strat or a Les Paul or a Telecaster or whatever. But it's just so bizarre, you know, that it doesn't feel like the guitar that you're hearing. That was quite, I wouldn't say off-putting. I'm sure I'd get used to it, but it was a little bit disconcerting. And some Stratocasters, courtesy of George Wall. What we got here? Fender 70s Mech Strat, Strat Plus Deluxe, 80s Japanese Strat. I had one of those. Exactly the same guitar, mate, but in Sonic Blue. That was it got some jumbo frets put into it over the years and a set of EMG pickups, and that was my main working guitar for about 15 years. Then a Clapton Strat, and then here's a blast from the past. Look at this one on the end here, Phoenix. Anyone else remember those guitars? They were sort of one of those guitars that in the 90s when they came out, that when you started thinking, this guitar that costs a fraction of the price of a Fender actually plays as well as a Fender. It was right on that cusp in the 90s when cheap guitars stopped meaning cheap and nasty guitars. Lots of happy memories of Phoenix guitars. I had one of their Telecasters for a good few years. Then we've got a George Wall Harley Benton. This is a really early one, isn't it? You can tell from the fact that it's still got the what you would probably call the lawsuit body shape there. It's they've basically just taken a proper Les Paul, as in Epiphone or Gibson Les Paul outline and copied it. Nowadays it kind of swoops in just a little bit there and comes to more of a point here. And you can also tell from the headstock shape. Really early Harley Benton SC450. Lovely looking thing that, yes. And got some acoustics there, courtesy of Ian Cochran. Nice to see some acoustics on here. Let's see what we've got here. I don't know much about acoustic guitars, but that is very definitely a Martin. That is a Taylor. What we got here? A Charvel acoustic, Charvel 12. Then another Martin. You like your Martins, don't you, mate? And that looks very much like a National. And a PRS Parlor guitar. Oh, lovely collection of acoustics there. I suppose you've got to have like a particular need for lots of different acoustics. I don't play primarily acoustic. I just use it as a as a background texture in a lot of pieces. So I've got 2 acoustics, but strictly speaking, 1 would probably be enough for me. But as long as you're getting the use out of them, mate, well done. Some lovely instruments there. Then we've got some guitars courtesy of Joshua. Joshua, the very kind chap who sent me some burst bookers for my Les Paul. And he did give me a list of what's here, but I don't have it to hand. We have what looks like an Epiphone 335 there, and then a Les Paul, and then another Gibson Les Paul, and then a Les Paul Deluxe, a 335, Gibson SG, and what looks like a Les Paul Special there. Yeah, as you said in your email, Joshua, you're not really a Fender guy, are you? Or if you are, you're not showing it in that photograph. You do have a particular penchant for a certain brand and kind of make of guitar. Let's see who's next. Oh, yes, this one. You might recognize this one. It's a Jet JT 350. It belongs to our friend Torquemada 64, Mr. Rob Bald. And he hasn't said otherwise, but I think this one might be for sale. You know how much I love my Jet JT 350. Admittedly, mine's had some Agrajag guitars, fairy dust sprinkled on it. But if you're looking for a great, if you like this kind of setup, Telecaster with neck humbucker, and you're looking for a good solid guitar with an absolutely, I can't stress this enough, sublime neck profile, and you want to like something that's going to be a good modding platform, then get in touch with Rob and see if you can come to some arrangement. I know he got a good deal on this, so I'm sure he'll be willing to do a good deal on it. So yeah, sort that out for yourselves in the chat. And what else we've got? Stewie Powell, one of my students, a couple of single cuts that he's got here. You can probably tell the kind of music that Stewie's into just by looking at this Gibson here. Yes, he's not really into his chicken picking Albert Lee country or smoky West Montgomery jazz, isn't Stewie? He likes to rock out a little bit. And there's some of Timbo's guitars, some of his single cuts. We've got, by the looks of it, an Epiphone, and what's the one in the middle? Hard to tell what that middle one is. It looks like, does that look like a Tokai headstock there? Again, I have this information to hand, but I do have this information, but not to hand. And then obviously we have a Gibson right there, and some guitars from Vincent Brennan. Really kind of aggressive looking BC Rich there. A Harley Benton. Is that a Harley Benton? Yes, it is a Harley Benton. Nice looking Les Paul custom style thing going on there. And oh yeah, we put the names at the top here. BC Rich Virgo, Harley Benton SC 500 and Gretsch 2420T. And let's see. And that's it. We're at the end of the string of pictures there. Thank you everyone for sending in some lovely pictures of your lovely guitars. If you want to see your guitars on the channel, what's the story on those steering wheels? I think it's some kind of video game thing. I think it's something that that the youngsters are into. I played a video game once. It was Space Invaders. It was a few years ago, and I just never saw the attraction. I'm told they've changed a little bit over the years. But yeah, if you want to see your guitars featured in this, what is becoming called the Reader's Wives slot of the video, of the live stream, then, ping some across to me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. That's where you'll find me. Just send them over. And, a little bit of a description. If you could like include in the name of the picture, if you could rename the picture what the guitars are, that helps me out massively. So Ian Hale saying, is it okay to smoke? You can smoke, you can vape, you can drink beer, you can break wind, and scratch your nether regions, mate. That's all behaviour of that nature is acceptable around here. Malcolm Spillett is saying, do you still have the pics I sent some years back? I probably will, mate, because I don't delete anything in Gmail. Everything just gets archived, so they will probably be in there, but I shall have to have a dig through, which may take some time. It might be a little bit easier for you to send them over again, mate. Apologies for that. Ian Clark is saying, John, did Spotify come up with the goods, or is that album just lost in the mists of time? You're talking about that Juicy Lucy album that you sent me a link to, Ian. The album is there, but none of the tracks play on Spotify. It's just, that little... it comes up the album and all the tracks listed, but... when you get that little, you go to click on something, you get that little kind of red circle with the line through it, the no entry sign. That's what happens whenever you try and play any of the tracks, unfortunately. So I have made a note of the band's name, and it's like when I get a spare minute, if such a thing exists in my calendar, I will check them out, mate, I promise. Malcolm Spillett saying, okay, I have some I didn't have then. Okay, well, nice. Ping them on over, mate. Maria Davis is saying, how's Dougal? Dougal is sulking with me at the moment because he hasn't been out for a walk today. The reason he hasn't been out for a walk is because Jackie's been out selling her handmade, genuine gemstone jewellery on Redcar Market. And you can find, if you want to check out some of the stuff, go and check out... Look out for Doghouse Designs on FaceTube or Facebook, or I think it's Facebook she's on, and you can check out some of the stuff there. I think it's facebook.com/The Doghouse Designs, so she's been out kind of earning an honest living today, and I've been hobbling around on this kind of thing, so he hasn't had any opportunity to go out for a walk. We have had a bit of a crazy 20 minutes in the backyard, though. Me throwing, he's got this ridiculously bouncy ball. It's, it's just like, you remember those little kind of glittery balls that you used to have when you were a kid that would just kind of bounce and go everywhere? Basically a bigger one of those, but it's made out of stuff that is dog chew proof. and he loves chasing that around in the backyard. So I managed to get him tired out that way. So you've got Craig Stamen in. How are you, mate? Peter S. is saying Juicy Lucy plays on Tidal. Is that another streaming service? I shall have to have a look at that, mate. Maidenman74 saying, I hate that Gary Moore and Night to Remember won't play. Michael Purcell is saying, did you manage to listen to Firebird? I haven't yet, mate. I do apologise. You would not believe how busy I've been this week. I've had, lesson-wise, it's been, I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm not complaining, but I've had probably a record number of lessons this week. I usually average somewhere in kind of 20 to 25. I've done 32 lessons this week, and still cranking out the YouTube stuff. There are times when, and please don't take this the wrong way, there are times when the last thing you want to do is listen to music. You've been listening to music for 13, 14 hours in a day, and all you want to do is watch an old repeat of Wheeler Dealers or something like that and just drink beer and just zone out. Liam Hemmings, what you saying there, mate? I love your noble approach to guitar gear. I wonder how old Fenders stack up to modern CCN guitars. Yeah. Well, there's the thing that, old Fenders, vintage guitars aren't really just about being a functional musical instrument, are they? it's. I did my lottery win guitar video a couple of weeks ago, and on that lottery win list there was like a 1959 Gibson Les Paul. If I'd won the lottery, I'd hunt a good one down and just buy it because it's just a trophy as much as anything else. You could probably get, an Epiphone or a Harley Benton or, whatever, insert budget brand guitar name here that would, play pretty well, play as nice as a 59 Les Paul and sound indistinguishable from it in a mix. That's not what vintage guitars are about. I know what you meant, Liam. CNC, mate. No worries. Try accident. Just listen to rap then. Yeah, there might be breakages. Rap, there aren't many musical genres where I just absolutely can't be in the same room as it when it's playing. Rap is one of them, and I don't even know what it's called because I'm just I'm not au fait with such things because I'm not like massively into metal. But there was that sort of in the 90s. There was that sort of rap metal kind of crossover, wasn't there? I don't know how long it lasted. I don't even know what the genre is called, but I know there was this kind of meeting of ridiculous thrash metal and rap, and it's just like, okay, right. You might as well have just, and this is just a personal thing, you understand, you might as well have just kind of served me up a plate of some hybrid between broccoli and Brussels sprouts. It's nothing good can come up from that combination. Strumming Ronan saying new metal. Fair enough. It's the thing when you're talking about different subgenres of metal is it's like that opening scene from Monty Python's Life of Brian, isn't it? Are you the Judean People's Front? And then I'm not going to swear on here because monetization and all of that. But it's so splintered, and if you get it wrong, I had somebody in the comments once. Absolutely, I mean, it wasn't so much a comment as a novel that this guy wrote. Years ago, I did a tune from a solo analysis from a UFO tune. Now, UFO, for me, were always considered part of that new wave of British heavy metal. They were sort of always lumped in with that scene, and the titles, the video title was something like, a classic new wave of British heavy metal solo, and I did a UFO solo. Oh, and this guy was just, really, really kind of narked, shall we say, and wrote quite a lengthy missive telling me how I was, kind of ill-educated, ignorant, didn't know what I was talking about. Curiously, he didn't criticize the tuition content of the video, but, that didn't matter to him. It was what mattered was like, kind of getting everything in the right pigeonhole. So there you go. Anyway, chaps, I'm talking and I'm not really drinking much, so that's going to change. Oh, this'll do. Right, not a bad pour this time. It's not brilliant, but it's not as flaky as last time. I didn't have to kind of wait halfway through the pour to finish pouring it. Talking about a 64 sing them with days. Need a bit of WD-40 for that chair, John. Yes, I do. I know. It's on my list of things to do when I get a spare moment, Let's have a look, see what else I've got. A lot of people talking about Colt Ford. That's a new name on me. Steve Cassidy guitar. My least favourite is any traditional Scottish music. Okay. I suppose. Well, yeah, I can get where you're coming from, mate, because, being an Englishman to my core, being, kind of absolutely kind of, I'm not one of these that wraps myself in the flag of St. George. I'm not really big on, kind of public displays of ostentatious patriotism, but it's there. Do you know what I mean? It's in here. But the one style of music, another style of music that I really can't get away with is like, the kind of typical chunky sweater, kind of horn-rimmed glasses, beard, pint of beer with twigs in it, kind of English folk music, kind of, with a hey down, ho down, fold all riddled aye, and all that. I see I've got a couple of super chats that I've missed there. Paul Trainer, thank you, sir. You are a gentleman. That is very, very generous of you. And Liam Hemmings, have a pint on me. Sir, you are a gentleman. I shall do that. And mind you, €5, depending where you are in the UK, it'd be a bit of a stretch to get a pint out of that, wouldn't it? But thank you so much. You are a gentleman, sir. Much appreciated. What about a folk rap crossover? I'll have tickets for that fight. Mulligan and O'Hare, yes. Now there's a man who was around in the 90s and used to watch Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. What was their song? My Rose has left me. I'm in a mood. She's run off with a bloke from Allied Carpets, or something like that. You had to be there. It was funny at the time. Let's have a look. Talking about what you're saying there, mate. I reckon because Liquid Dutch Guy is off with a big Dagmar, you're running short on Heineken. Yes, Liquid Dutch Guy, or Mr. Toonan, as we know him. He apparently has a new lady in his life. So he's off doing coupley kind of things on a Friday at the moment. Robin Fawcett is saying opera, yuck. Yeah, well, some of it, there's a lot of good melodies in opera. Verdi's Chorus of the Hebrew Slaves is always a favourite of mine. Never understood why they always use that in to accompany football. Never really got that. Any kind of epic football or soccer, as our international audience would probably refer to it. Anytime there's any big tournament coming up, they always manage to sneak in Verdi's Chorus of the Hebrew Slaves. Never understood that. Giuseppe Verdi, if he'd been writing in Britain, if he'd been British, he would have been called Joe Green. Would his operas have still kind of been as popular? Mark Fahey, the Pogues and Dubliners Irish Rover was pretty good. I do have a bit of a soft spot for the Pogues. Lots of memories here of Reeves and Mortimer, comedy duo from the 90s. They're not working together anymore, I don't think. But they used to do a kind of impersonation of Slade, which was, which was really funny. I haven't seen any in years. Maybe it hasn't aged as well. The first, Maria Davies is saying, the first song I heard with rap was Blondie's Rapture. Don't understand the lyrics though. I can remember that Blondie did do a song called Rapture. But that's as much as I can remember, to be honest. There was this, probably the first rap thing that I remember hearing on the radio when I was a kid was that Sugar Hill Gang thing. And it was just like, well, this isn't music. This is just somebody talking over a drum beat. That's cheating, isn't it? You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to sing, aren't you? Jeff Rock is saying, John, do you have a blue box with your amp one? No, I don't, mate. I just have the blue guitar amp one Mercury edition, and I use the recording output to go straight into the it's a basic system. It's not one of these things where you get lost in all kinds of option anxiety about swapping out impulse responses or anything like that. It's just like old school. It just gives you a good probably I think it's probably based on Celestion Vintage 30 speaker simulation straight into the interface, and boom, I get a great tone. Well, what I think is a great tone, straight away. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've got a video. I've just finished making a video actually about this kind of thing, about the Boss IR2 pedal and the Tone X1 pedal, and the it seems like every week almost, or every month at least, there's a new kind of amp simulator thing that comes out that is going to be a game changer. You're going to need this, and so on and so forth. The Quad Cortex springs to mind, and just all of these kind of things that is absolutely essential until the next one comes along. And I've just done a little bit of a video about my thoughts on that, which will be coming out in a few weeks' time. I think back end of this month or early next month. Sean House again. Noddy Holder said his only problem with the Reeves and Morton and the Slade sketches was students following around supermarkets to see if he bought a cup of soups. I can see why that would have worn a bit thin. Talking about like folk and rock crossover, a band I got into quite a lot a few years ago is the Dropkick Murphys. Like a cross between really kind of gnarly, kind of fast, attitude-laden punk, but with Celtic folk kind of things going on. Just good foot-stomping kind of fun music, really. Tom Clark is saying Black Star latest practice amps, pants. Well, nice to know, mate. You'd think, doing what I do for a living, that I'll be kind of quite plugged into what the gear scene was all about, what new gear was available and everything. But I've not seen anything about that. I did think about like doing what would be frankly a shameless rip-off of the Guitar Geeks stuff, when he does the week in gear. But I looked into doing a video like that once, and just the amount of research was, it would have meant a lot of effort going into one video, and I thought, is it really kind of going to be worth the effort put in? Oh, I see we've got the Lamb here. Sorry for the lateness. You're catching us for the last 5 minutes, mate. Sorry, the chat's going so fast now. Johnny Random, what are you saying there, mate? Have you tried the JCM 900 Simul Analog VST? I haven't. I didn't know it was out, but maybe that might be a review I could do. Let's have a look. Triax, what you're saying there, mate? Have they stopped shilling the Tone X1 pedal on YouTube now? They've sold out of them for now. I don't know. I mean, part of the problem that I have with all of these things is that, option anxiety. I saw Henning's video about the Tone X1, and there's 20-odd thousand user uploaded tones that you can choose from in the online library. Yeah, but I just want a clean tone, a crunch tone, and a high gain lead tone, and then I'll add reverb, chorus, delay, whatever as I record it. Now, I understand that many people want the different delays and reverbs and stuff actually in the tone, because that's the preset they want to go to for that solo on that song if they're playing live. But for my purposes, I just want those three basic core sounds, and then I'll kind of add whatever modulation and echo reverb based effects I want afterwards. which is what the blue guitar one gives me. I don't want something where I'm going to have to spend, an hour choosing the right tone. It's there, and I can use it, and it's done. By the way, everyone, in case you don't, you probably all do, but don't forget to check out Lammy's live stream on a Monday. I can never make it because I'm always working, but for those of you who don't work silly hours like me, go and check out the Lamb's live stream on a Monday evening. It is brilliantly mad. David Evans, what are you saying there, mate? Did you have a look at Session Wire I told you about? It's like Zoom on steroids for musicians. Been checking out, looks really good. I have had a little bit of a look at it, but the problem is that it's just yet another thing that I've got to get. A lot of the people that I teach are gentlemen and ladies of a certain age. And, it's like they know how to use Zoom because maybe they use it for work. But it's, adding another tech barrier into the mix could be something of a stumbling block. It looks promising, but I don't have any problems doing stuff with Zoom as I do now. The sound quality isn't exactly fantastic, but it's good enough for lessons. 68GT is saying, hi mate, I'm friends with some of the guys in King. Check one of their old bands from back in the day, the Blackwater Blues Band with both the Nimmo brothers, great band, and Alan's a gent. Oh, nice one. I shall check the Blackwater Blues Band. I did email King to see if I could get them on the channel for an interview, but I've not heard anything back yet. I suppose they're busy chaps. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Just in the dying seconds of the game. Maria Davies is saying, is it poppadoms or naan bread with your curry? It's poppadoms. What they're called? Chapatis with the curry tonight. It's normally we have curry and chips, but we're having it with rice tonight. New comments. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Anyway, David Collins is saying the Eagles seem to be miming a concert. Yeah, I've seen a couple of videos talking about that, but I wish I could say it came as a shock, but for reasons maybe I'll talk about in a future live stream, it doesn't. But we're coming up to 59 minutes in now, chaps, and I don't want to tread on Steve Cassidy's toes. What you need to do now is go and get yourself another beer and go and, answer the call of nature if need be, and get yourself over to Steve's channel for his regular 6 p.m. Friday upload. I've no idea what it's about this week because I didn't catch your live today on Catch Up, Steve. I do apologise. But anyway, that's it for this evening, folks. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you all on the next one. And I'm just a fat bald bloke talking nonsense for an hour on a Friday, but I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. But for now, time, gentlemen, please.